FedTech, the Joby Swing is a camera slider that does not look like a camera slider. It is an extremely affordable, small package for mobile motion control filmmaking. It works for both time-lapse as well as video, and it has a USB-C charging port, 2 locking switch, 2 top and bottom 1/4 inch thread mounts. And that's pretty much it. The full kit that I have comes with a mini ball head, a phone clamp, and these GorillaPod style legs. The device only works with the Joby app for iOS or Android, and it allows you to shoot, as I mentioned, both time-lapse sequences as well as video files in up to 4K resolution using multiple lenses on your smartphone. It is a very simple plug-and-play style setup. It is not to be confused with high-end motion control devices like the one you see on screen right now. Full disclaimer, via my friend Andy, I was able to ask Joby to get early access to one of these devices, and they sent that to me. That being said, there has been zero exchange of fees or money or IDs even. They've had zero input on this video at all. In this video, I want to show you how I set it up. I want to share my first impressions or a short review about it. I want to talk about the pros and the cons, and I'll also show you how you can shoot with a GoPro on it instead of your smartphone. So let's go over the specs first. The Joby Swing weighs about 300 grams, which is 0.6 pounds. It has a 1.5 hour battery life for both time-lapse as well as video shooting, and it actually exceeded that in my experience. It can move up to 1 centimeter per second or 0.4 inches per second and has a maximum reach or travel of 380 millimeters, aka 15 inches. Comes with standard 1/4 inch photo-sized threads at the top and the bottom, as well as a little adapter to increase the size of that thread. It has a 600 gram or 1.3 pound payload, and it charges via the supplied USB-C cable. The kit I have here comes in at $179 USD on B&H Photo, which honestly I find incredible value. You can also just get the Swing unit itself with a USB-C cable for $129. I've linked it down below. Now here's how the Swing works. You power on the device by hitting the power button. Open the Joby smartphone app and go to the connecting screen to connect via Bluetooth 5.1. Once connected, go to the create screen and choose either time-lapse or video. Mount your setup and then select the start and end point of your time-lapse with the plus and minus buttons. Click the camera button to switch between lenses if your phone has more than one. Once it ends, it shows you an end screen where you can trim the video or share it from there. The files are 4K resolution and come in at about 20 megabits per second, and honestly, they're of decent enough quality. I have seen some incredibly terrible quality stuff come out of cheap time-lapse devices, and this is not one of them. By the way, in case you're not aware yet, I've got 2 free ebooks. One's about time-lapse, one's about hyperlapse. You can download them below, and you sign up to the Time Warper Weekly, which is my weekly newsletter for all things time-lapse. It features discounts, giveaways, industry news, featured creators, featured films, and so much more. Download your free ebooks down below. Now, one of the first things I wanted to know is how do you shoot with a GoPro on this? Because it seems that you need the app to shoot and to control the device, right? Well, that's true. However, just mount your GoPro instead of your phone and then still use your phone to set up the start and end keyframes and dial in the settings. The only thing you gotta do is keep the app open, because as soon as you close the app, the device stops moving, which I really hope is something they fix in firmware, because of the small footprint of this device and the GoPro, you can get some really fun angles like the one you see on screen right now, and it'd be a shame to just limit us to using the phone only. Like, GoPros are so small, it's a great fit for this device, and they're lightweight as well, so hopefully we can see that added to the firmware in the future. Now let's talk about the pros and the cons. Pros first, as always, I think this is insane value for money. A motion control device, a plug-and-play style setup for under $180 that opens up a whole new world of time-lapse or video filmmaking for creators that are on the move, that use small devices. I think that's absolutely fantastic. You know, I'm all about innovating and changing the time-lapse and hyperlapse and motion control scenes across the world, and devices like this open up so many more avenues for creators, so I am a big fan. Then usability, it really couldn't be simpler to use this thing. Extremely plug and play, extremely simple to set up, and that's again lowering the entry barrier to fancy motion control filmmaking for creators, so I think that's great as well. Keeping in mind that I've only used the device for a bit over a day, I have encountered absolutely zero flaws, glitches, or bugs, which is quite refreshing. Because of its small size and footprint, you can get some really fun angles, as the one I showed on screen earlier, and again right now. I just like these pushing and pulling through angles. Another thing, it literally fits in your pocket. You can toss it in your camera bag for fun B-roll when you're out and about shooting. It's so small and lightweight, it's almost negligible. And then the battery life, it's better than expected. It's stated to do 1.5 hours, but I used it on and off pretty much all day yesterday, and it still showed half battery life at the end of the day, which I think is just fantastic. Now, for the negatives. Depending on how you set it up and how the gears interact internally, there's quite a lot of wobble. So that's definitely not ideal when you're outdoor shooting in the wind, because that will shake the device. Speaking of shaking the device, it just comes with these legs. They are not solid metal or carbon fiber. They're always going to be more wobbly than another setup, so consider changing the legs for this device when you're shooting outdoors. Then depending on the weight of your phone or the camera that you're shooting with, you will eventually get a little bit of sagging on one side or the other side. That's just a thing that happens with single point mounted motion control devices, which is something you often see on Edelkrone sliders as well. Now, as you see on screen here, you can actually fix that lean with a little bit of stabilization in motion or in After Effects, but ideally it just doesn't do that to begin with. Then firmware wise, as much as it is a plug and play entry level device, I really wish there were more shooting settings like controlling the white balance or locking the exposure or locking the autofocus. I had the autofocus switch a little bit here and I wasn't sure how to control that. These should be simple firmware fixes, so I hope to see that in the app soon. And then finally, it'd be cool to shoot stills with it as well, as opposed to just the video files. Again, this is app-based stuff. This isn't really the hardware, but the app is part of the package, so that's that. In the end, I am very, very pleased, very happy with this device. As I said, it lowers the entry barrier for people wanting to do motion control stuff. People often ask me, what slider should I get, or what camera should I get? Start shooting on your phone and then hit a limit and only then move up to the next camera or whatever it is that you want to upgrade to. And this is kind of similar. Start with something small and then build up from there. You'd be surprised at how many cool things you can make with that. So firstly, thank you, Andy, for getting me in touch with Joby. Thank you, Joby, for sending this over. I also have the Spin, by the way. If you want to see me review that or talk about it, let me know in the comments. And check out the newsletter. It's pretty fun. Check out the free ebooks. You sign up to the newsletter via the free ebooks, and that's pretty much it. Leave a comment, share this video if you like it. Please do leave a comment. They help the video perform better with the algorithm, etc. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you on the next one. And may your clouds be filled with fluffy skies. I've done it again. May your skies be filled with fluffy clouds.